Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. I'm next to Matt Sharp, CEO and co-founder of KidStrong. Welcome to the show.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Glad you're here. All right, tell us about KidStrong.
So KidStrong is a child development program that my wife and I developed about 2.5 years ago when our daughter was 15 months old. My wife taught PE for 7 years, kindergarten level. She has her master's degree in physical education. I played college sports, and I have about 9 years of tech and fitness business, like brick and mortar experience. So we took her to a few places, weren't super satisfied with what was out there, and it's just kind of our thing that if it doesn't exist and we want it, then there's probably other people that would also want it. So long story short, we started training her at home. That grew to a 20-person pop-up class in the back of a warehouse in Lexington. That grew to around 150 kids. It became a little more real at that point. We were contacted by some investors and families in Frisco, and basically came down, fell in love with the city, and saw that there's probably more kids in North Dallas than in some states, I think, at this point. And really quickly, within the matter of a week, came down, found a space, signed the lease on a space, signed a lease on a house, found a preschool, put a deposit down, and on the way back to Kentucky, called a real estate agent, put our house up for sale, sold a car, turned a lease in early, donated about half our stuff, and 2 weeks later, we were living in Frisco. And it's kind of like Silicon Valley for what we do. And the reason I think we've been successful is because it's kind of unique in the space. All of the classes are based on science. So the director of programming is a pediatric OT, and on the programming team, we have just a litany of experts, from PhDs to pediatric OTs to master's degrees in physical education. So everything is based on science. So when the kids are doing something, there's a really powerful why behind that. And then all of the classes are taught by professionals. So when we went to other children's programs, it would be a college-age kid, somebody kind of working for a little extra money. And we really wanted to expose our kids to people that are obsessed with kid success and well-educated. So all of the classes that we teach are taught by professionals. And then our last component is we really want to leverage technology in a way that really hooks kids and parents. And that's where Code Authority and CodeLaunch really came in at the right time, because as we were gearing up, we had this kind of missing piece of how do we leverage technology, how do we leverage mobile devices, and gamify child development.
Right.
Because if you can make it really interesting, then it works.
Yeah.
But it's really hard for it's really hard for the playground to compete with video games.
Right.
Because there are billions of dollars invested to hook you on the video game.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that makes you, there's nobody investing to get you excited about the playground. So we just want to take some of that psychology and technology and apply it to the real world and create some balance there. So like Jason said, literally, I think it was a couple of days before the deadline for CodeLaunch, I saw Jason get interviewed. It was a buddy of mine that was interviewing him. I called him up. I was like, what is this CodeLaunch thing? He's like, you should do it. I ran home, banged out an application pretty quickly. And it was funny, while I was doing it, my wife called me and she said, you should apply for CodeLaunch, because she had just saw the same interview. And I was like, I just hit send on the application. So it was really cool. And then it was just an awesome process. We had, I think there were a few hundred companies that were in it. We got down to the final 30, and then me and her came and presented to Jason and one of his colleagues in person. It was really helpful because we had technology on our roadmap, but probably 12 to 18 months away. We were really hammering the brick and mortar, like, let's get a really good process, and then let's try to replicate that.
Right.
So it really helped us, like this napkin thing we had, it really helped us, like, okay, if we were really going to do this, what would that look like? Right. So by the time we talked to Jason, we were probably about 25% of the way through that, because we were literally like coming up with the parameter and specs as we're walking into the meeting. And then we met with Jason and his colleague for about a half hour. We felt pretty good about it, and then we were very excited to make it to the finals. And for there, we won, which was amazing. We weren't expecting to. And we also didn't see any of the other presentations. So, and we knew that everyone there was super sharp. So it was really awesome experience for us to win. And then that led to, we got to spend 3 days with the team, and we literally went from drawing on a whiteboard to an app by Saturday. So like a MVP version of the app. And this week I just had, I think, the final meeting with the team before we're going to start letting up to 100 people into the app, probably starting next week. So it was an amazing experience for us.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What's next?
So we're going to start letting people into the app,
Okay.
and online is something that we always feel is the biggest opportunity.
Right.
So the biggest constraint for us is access to what we do, because we'll have people from Australia and Canada and South Africa. They will email us and say, "Hey, I want my kid to do KidStrong."
Right.
Well, we're probably not going to open one up near them anytime soon. So we've always had this bigger vision of let's create this global community of experts and families, connect them, and then the glue that connects them is this curriculum that is unlike any other curriculum. It incorporates athletic, mental, and character development all in the same class. Because we feel like you have to have all three of those for longer term success. So if a kid's really athletic and he has poor character, there's definitely a ceiling that kid will hit.
Right. Yeah.
Or if he's really smart, he has good character and he's afraid to go outside, it's going to cause some issues for him as well. So we feel like any curriculum that limits one of those is really inhibiting the child's development.
I agree.
So we basically came in and said, let's scrap all curriculums. If we built one from scratch with experts based on these three things, what would that look like? And the app will allow us to push that to a kid in South Africa, and he can do it with his parents on a mobile device and track their progress over time.
It's an easy connect the dot for me to see
Yeah.
why you're just completely disrupting that industry sector.
We're hoping to.
Oh, no, that's obvious. All right, anything else you want to add to the audience before we take off?
If you're interested in KidStrong, it's KidStrong.com. You can get on there. You can follow us on our social channels. We have a Facebook and Instagram. My wife runs all those, so she makes awesome videos, so go on there and check them out. And our email addresses are on there if anybody ever wants to get in contact with us.
Thanks for being here, man.
Yep.
That was great.
Yeah.
All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.